Good afternoon and welcome to Newsfile. I'm Medea LD. She and Haggerty have sports coming up, but first, let's check in with April Zilke with the weather. April, it looks like spring is finally here.
Yes, it is officially spring in my books. I should have traded in my heels though for rain boots because with that high of 11 degrees, the sun is shining and melting the snow, making it quite wet. I can't imagine what it would be like though in 2016 with the temperatures of 27. It would be pretty much a mess out here. We did reach a high of 13 degrees last year, but we didn't reach that this year. But come Saturday, we could be reaching those temperatures.
Well, I'm really looking forward to all the sun, and we definitely need it. So, Sheehan, the Trojans, all the teams have basically had a really good season this year, and it's coming to an end, and I'm kind of sad to see it go.
Yeah, all of the Trojans teams had really great seasons this year, and it seems like they have primed themselves for a good year next year, too. But we'll have a look at that a little bit later on in the show.
It's been nearly 2 weeks since the homebound Broncos crash claimed the lives of a number of adults and teenagers, and our country has been shaken up ever since. Today, Saskatchewan police held a conference providing an update to the situation. Our reporter, Mandy Volk, has been covering the story. Mandy, what new information has come out?
Well, Aboon, not a lot of new information came out of the update. What we know so far is the crash took place around 5 p.m. on April 6th, and the tractor trailer was traveling westbound on Highway 335, and the bus was traveling northbound on Highway 35, which is currently being shut down by RCMP. An investigation has determined the tractor trailer was in the intersection at the time of the collision. As well, investigators do know that on the day of the crash, it was sunny and had clear road conditions. So far, we know 16 people have died as a result of the bus collision, and 13 people were injured, with some still remaining in the hospital. RCMP Commissioner Curtis Zablocki says investigators are still working hard to determine what happened and are putting together pre-collision data to get answers.
Our folks, as I mentioned earlier, have gone back today to reposition similar or like vehicles in the area, in the intersection, and further examine potential sight lines as well as other analytical aspects.
The collision has not just shaken up our nation, but the world, with support pouring in from all over. A GoFundMe was created for the families of the Broncos and has done exceptionally well. The charity was closed on April 16th and raised over $15 million from 142,000 contributors in just 12 days. These funds came from across Canada and numerous countries around the world. Now, concerning the driver of the tractor trailer, we still don't know much, except that he's been in constant communication with the RCMP, and so far, no charges have been laid. Aboon?
Thanks, Mandy. Hopefully they're able to get answers for the families very soon. New details surrounding the death of Medea LD, a young woman found dead in the backyard of a southeast Calgary home, has been released by police at the request of LD's family. We now know the 22-year-old was stabbed 40 times, had her throat cut, and was shot twice while trying to flee from her attacker before she was found dead 5 hours later. Adam Bedahar, who died during a shootout with police 4 days after LD was killed, was wanted on a Canada-wide warrant for her murder. LD's sister, Racha, says she hopes her sister's death shines light to a bigger problem in society when it comes to women finding themselves in dangerous situations when refusing the advancements of men. If you've gone outside the past few weeks, you probably noticed that Old Man Winter has long overstayed his welcome. But as sick as you may be of the cold weather, some farmers across the province have had to push back their seeding schedule because of the abnormally cold spring this year. United Farmers of Alberta has been helping farmers get ready for the start of the season. The only problem for UFA has been facing is making sure everyone has what they need for when the ground finally starts to thaw.
One of the challenges we have right now, of course, is the grain movement's very slow and cash is tight this time of year. So what UFA traditionally does this time of year is we have a deferred payment program. So pick up product in March, pay in June. Because of the late spring and the late start to the year, we're going to actually extend that by 30 days.
Although winter has been long, farmers in the UFA are looking to be on track for the rest of the season. The gaming industry is continuing to evolve, and now there's a platform for gamers to show off their best games or tune in to watch the best in the world. Matt Pouncey reports on the emergence of Twitch and how it's changing the way we consume video games.
Over the past 30 years, the way we play and consume video games has changed drastically. A live streaming service called Twitch is allowing gamers to broadcast for free from their PC or console.
You download a program, there's multiple ones of them, a lot of them you just type in your Twitch login and it'll automatically connect you up. Get a webcam, get a microphone, and pick a game.
Twitch has given players an opportunity to create their own brand and chat with people all over the world.
It's also a way to play video games and relax, but you also get to have fun while doing it. So you're not alone. You have people watching you. You're able to interact with people while you're playing, and that's really what got me going.
Now, if you're not comfortable starting a stream of your own, you can trade in your headset and controller for a laptop, where you can log on to twitch.tv, create your own free account to watch your favorite streamer or game online, and at the same time, maybe even collect some free in-game content.
If you're a fan of viewing streams, you have the chance to watch and learn from the best in the world.
Being able to see such high-level play of games are usually played just completely differently than what you'd be at home. You get to see those new strategies, you want to take it back, try and use that in your games and see if you can pull it off.
Twitch also allows teams from all over the world to broadcast and compete in tournaments similar to mainstream sports.
My example is usually League of Legends. We have 20 teams that come into the World Finals. Only 4 of them are from North America. Everything else is international.
If you want to get involved, Calgary has their own Twitch community online that is only a click away. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Matt Pouncey.
With graduation right around the corner, many students are now faced with the task of finding a job and transitioning into the workforce. Jobs Canada hosted a career fair that allows students and other Calgarians the opportunity to meet employers face-to-face. There were over 10 companies in attendance with jobs ranging from construction to finance and even the chance to be your own boss. There were also employers looking for students who are applying for summer work while they wait for the next semester of school. Having an interview in person can give someone an advantage over people who apply online, as long as they're prepared.
Look up what the company does, if they have any sort of, anything that's big right on their website or whatever that says what they're doing. Have a little bit of knowledge on that beforehand, so when you go in, you're a little bit prepared if they ask, hey, what do we do, or how long we've been around. Or
McBride Career Group was also in attendance to talk to people about the free programs they have to help people re-entering the workforce. This is the final Newsfile show during our time at SAIT, and the years have gone by and we've come from young people trying to follow our passion, and we leave as full-fledged newsies ready for whatever the career holds. Our reporter Keith Richards has a story on our last days here at SAIT.
3, 2, 1.
Most students here at SAIT are preparing for exams, but not the students in the RTBN program. These students are preparing to go into industry, whether that be television or radio. SAIT has become a well-respected broadcasting school with plenty of successful alumni.
One student coming out of here who's working for Howard Stern, another one who's working for the national news at CTV, one who's coming out of this program and goes straight into Sportsnet. I mean, these are huge positions coming out of here.
But students aren't the only ones learning here at SAIT. Instructors are also learning a lot from the students.
What I learned the most from the students is to keep a sense of humor. And there should always be, an occasion every day where you laugh out loud. And that, by the way, should be what you take into your work life, too.
Second-year students are dealing with the stress of finding jobs, but SAIT instructors believe that SAIT students will always be ethical and professional due to our training.
In this age of social media and this convergence with the internet, I think it's really important that students learn the right way to gather news, because there's a lot of people out there doing it the wrong way.
All of the instructors at SAIT have experienced what it's like to be in industry and know what it takes to succeed.
We all came from industry. We're not teachers by the traditional method, so we're not schooled in how to teach. We're actually here because we've been in the business, and most of us have at least 30 years of experience, and we bring that to the students.
There's been a lot of ups and downs here in the past 2 years at SAIT, but we've all learned a lot, and we've learned in an industry setting. For the final time, for SAIT Newsfile, I'm Keith Richards.
Well, if you've gone outside the past few weeks, you probably would have noticed Old Man Winter has long overstayed his welcome. And as sick as you may be of this cold weather, there is one industry that's been patiently waiting for spring to make its debut so they can finally get back to work. Ruel James has the story.
For some, it feels like there is no end to winter in sight, but the sun is out and the snow is finally starting to melt around Calgary.
definitely nice to have some sunshine again. I definitely walk to school in just like the full like snow pouring down, just like head down, just trying to get to school. So it's nice having the sun out again.
It's not just students that have been looking forward to the warmer weather, though. United Farmers of Alberta has been helping farmers get ready for the start of their seeding season.
UFA is a farm cooperative. We just celebrated 109 years of operation just this year, and we service farmers from both providing product and advice for them, and we've been doing that in Alberta for, like I say, 109 years.
Despite winter sticking around well into spring, most farmers are still on track. The only problem for UFA is making sure everyone has what they need when the ground finally starts to thaw.
One of the challenges we have right now, of course, is the grain movement's very slow and cash is tight this time of year. So what UFA traditionally does this time of year is we have a deferred payment program. So pick up product in March, pay in June. Because of the late spring and the late start to the year, we're going to actually extend that by 30 days.
Well, it looks like despite the harsh weather for the past few weeks, it is not something that Albertan farmers haven't dealt with before in the past, and they are still looking to be right on track for this season. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Ruel James.
Those are today's top stories. We'll have your full forecast for you after the break, but first, April Silky has a look at what's going on around Calgary this week.
Whether you pronounce it poutine or poutine, Calgary is serving up the week for you. More than 70 restaurants are participating in Calgary Poutine Week, with locations scattered across the city. For every poutine dish sold, MealShare matches it by giving someone in need a free meal. For the crafters and shopaholics, there's a fiber shindig where a range of craft materials and finished products will be on display and available to buy. Admission is $5. Bridgeland Riverside Community Association is showcasing the work of Alberta artists through its spring and fall art exhibitions and sales. For more info, go to beaconoriginalart.com. Law Day offers a fun way to gain a better understanding of the Canadian justice system. Activities include touring the Calgary Court Centre and watching pop culture and storybook characters participate in mock trials. This is a family-friendly event.
This is my sister Tara, and without me, she wouldn't be alive. When she was hurting, I took the time to go to albertahealthservices.ca to see what I could do to help, because I don't know what I would do without her.
In Alberta, 94% of people agree that being physically active will keep them healthy, but only 59% of them actually exercise. So, what do you like?
What do I like?
What do I like?
What do I like?
Playing basketball.
Hitting the gym.
I like swimming.
Being healthy and exercising, even for an hour, is important.
So visit SAIT Recreation today or visit online at recreation.sait.ca.
Well, it's another day of sun for Calgary, but how is the rest of Canada looking? Into the west, the temperatures are looking pretty decent across the board. Vancouver, however, they will have rain as of tomorrow. Edmonton has 1 day of relief, but then on Saturday they will get rain, and that will continue into the weekend. Regina and Winnipeg, their temperatures will increase though. When we move into the east, it's looking pretty glum temperature-wise and weather-wise, but that will change for Toronto come the weekend. They will have a sunny weekend. The rest of the east, however, isn't looking so great. Montreal with mixed precipitation as of tomorrow. Halifax continuing with that light rain for tomorrow. St. John's does have a mixed precipitation warning coming into effect come Friday evening. Where there isn't all this mixed precipitation is our resorts. Temperatures are high across the board, with a few clouds here and there, with the World of Disney being our warmest resort at 30 degrees. However, Palm Springs has a high wind warning, and the entire state of Hawaii is on flash flood watch until further notice. In Calgary today, we reached a high of 11 degrees and will only drop down to a low of 4 degrees. We had sun throughout the day, but we do have a slight wind of 16 kilometers an hour coming in from the southeast, which is causing it to be a little bit chilly, causing you to have a jacket throughout the day. The sun will continue, though, throughout the week and into the weekend. For the rest of Alberta, Fort McMurray's kind of been all over the place. Yesterday they had a ton of snow, today they have lots of sun, but then tomorrow they will be with showers. Grand Prairie will be the same sort of thing with showers. Then when we go into Edmonton, we talked about showers being there for the weekend. Red Deer and Banff will have mixed precipitation. Lethbridge, their temperatures will increase, however. Medicine Hat still is in high-level watery alert. Those in the Cypress County residents are asked to stay cautious, especially if they're near rivers or creeks. When we look at the rest of what Calgary is going to look like for the week, tonight we'll reach a high of 7 degrees, dropping down to that low of 4 degrees. And the high temperatures will continue throughout the weekend and into the week. We will have a little bit of rain on Saturday, but April showers bring May flowers, so count our blessings. Then on Sunday, we'll drop back up into that high temperatures of 11, only dropping down to about 2 degrees as our low. What the spring conditions are giving us for our ski resorts, though, I have that up next. 134 out of 147 runs are open at Lake Louise. In good conditions and machine groomed, it's a top resort for today. All runs and lifts are open at Sunshine. The hills have a powdered base of 223 centimeters. It's 4 degrees, but it feels like 1 with a 13-kilometer-per-hour wind coming from the southwest. Nakiska is currently closed for the day, but will reopen for the weekend. The slopes are in spring condition with a base of 155 centimeters. Fernie has shut down for the winter season. They are expected to reopen sometime in June for the summer season of mountain biking. In excellent condition and machine groomed is Kimberly. In the last 24 hours, they've got 10 centimeters of snow, putting them at a base of 146 centimeters. Big White is closed and no further information is being posted.
So Sheehan, another first round wrapped up last night, and I know there's a couple games on schedule tonight, so who do you think will come out on top?
I think if I was choosing, I would take Boston over Toronto, and I would take Washington over Columbus. But we'll talk about the playoffs a little bit later. What a year it's been for the Trojans. From basketball to volleyball to hockey, just a dominant year overall. Zach Amin joins us from the newsroom to talk about the year in review. Zach, how's it going in there?
Oh, you know, Sheehan, living the dream. And what a year for the Trojans as they absolutely killed it this year. If you go to any games next year, look up in the rafters, you will see plenty of championship banners. Now let's take a look at how the boys did in basketball this year. As it was a dominant season from start to finish, the Trojans won the ACAC championship for the second straight season after an 88-77 win over the Lakeland College Rustlers. The boys came close to their second CCAA medal since winning silver in 2010, but came up just short, losing by 4 points and finishing nationals with a record of 1-2. The team was on fire all year long, which might make recruiting a lot easier as the team has clearly established a winning culture here. With players all graduating and moving on with their lives, it should be a busy offseason when it comes to recruiting.
Professional coach recruits 12 months of the year, right? They're always trying to make their team better. They're always trying to look at different talent needs and trying to fill those spots. They're also always adapting. We graduate students. People graduate from SAIT and get jobs and move on. And so you're always constantly trying to refill the tank.
Zach, the Trojans definitely have their hands full with replacements for next season. They've already started signing players, so of course anyone at home looking to stay updated can check out their website for any new additions. What about the hockey teams?
Well, yes, Sheehan, the tough offseason scouting and recruiting starts now, but that's what creates a winning culture here, and winning makes recruiting that much easier. You mentioned the men's hockey team, so let's talk a little bit about how they did this year. While the women had a bit of an off year, the men had a bit more of a competitive season and even took home some hardware. Goalie Peyton Lee took home the ACAC Rookie of the Year honors, while Joel Hamilton was named the top scholastic achiever. The Trojans did finish fourth, but it was a very competitive division this year, with first place being only 6 points out of reach. SAIT finished the year with 18 wins in 28 games and finished the regular season with 7 wins in their final 10 games. But that hot streak didn't translate to a long playoff run, but that doesn't change the fact that the team was again one of the tougher teams to beat in the ACAC. Their 6 regulation losses in 28 games was second to only the Nate Ooks, who finished with a paltry 3 losses after 60 minutes. While the playoff run was short for the Trojans this season, there were still plenty of highlights from the year, like finishing the season with 11-1 and 9-0 victories. Yes, Sheehan, you heard those scores, 11-0 and 9-1.
Seems like it's shaping up to be another great year for the Trojans teams next season. Zach Amin reporting live from the newsroom. The Toronto Blue Jays' offseason moves were widely criticized by analysts and experts. Whether it was letting go of a longtime face of the franchise, Jose Bautista, or signing an aging Curtis Granderson to replace him, the Jays weren't given much credit. On the day Bautista signed a contract with the Atlanta Braves, Toronto showed they just might not need him anyways. Teoscar Hernandez got things started for the Jays when he takes Kansas City Royals starter Ian Kennedy deep to give his team a 2-1 lead. Just 2 batters later, Yangervis Solarte hit his second homer in as many days, and the dugout was just loving it. Hernandez did continue swinging his hot bat, dropping one in for a bases-clearing triple. He finished his day at the plate just a double shy of the cycle. The wheels fell off for the Orioles in the 8th when Granderson smacked a grand slam to put the game out of reach. Toronto outscored Kansas City 31-12 on the way to a 3-game series sweep. Their next series starts tonight in New York when they take on the Yankees in the first of 4 games. The NHL playoffs might not feature the Battle of Alberta or Ontario this year, but they did have an all-California battle with the Anaheim Ducks and San Jose Sharks facing off. The Ducks came into last night's game down 3-0 in the series and needing a win to stay alive. Sharks fans smelled blood in the water and were pumped up from the very start. Early on, Dylan DeMello sends Logan Couture all alone, but John Gibson is equal to the task. Just under 6 minutes in, Brent Burns fires a shot on net and Gibson makes the stop, but Marcus Sorensen is right there to put it in for his 3rd of the series. Later on, Andrew Cogliano tied the game at 1 midway through the 3rd, thanks to a nice dish from Ryan Kessler. Tomáš Hertl put the Sharks up for good just over a minute later when he tipped a Marc-Edouard Vlasic shot past Gibson for the 2-1 lead. Anaheim did put on some pressure late, but it wasn't enough. This was only the 2nd sweep in franchise history for the Sharks, who swept Vancouver back in 2013. San Jose will head to Vegas to take on the Golden Knights when the 2nd round gets underway. This year's first round of NHL playoffs could be one of the shortest in recent memory. With one matchup already set, the 2nd round of playoffs is starting to take shape. Winnipeg and Nashville could both advance as early as tomorrow with wins in their series. Out east, Pittsburgh and Tampa each hold 3-1 leads, only needing one more to punch their ticket. The Washington Capitals are looking to even up their series when action gets underway tonight in Columbus. The Maple Leafs still have some work to do if they hope to move on. They are currently down 2-1 in their series with Boston, but have a chance to even it up tonight in Toronto. That's a look at sports.
Those are today's top stories. So when we come back, whether it's skiing, reading a book, or playing video games, everybody needs a hobby that they enjoy and something that makes them happy. After the break, we'll take a look at how important these hobbies actually are.
Every child has a dream. He shoots. He scores! Help us make sure that no financial barriers stop kids from reaching their dreams. Kids Sport, so all kids can play.
Being a parent and having a family is the most rewarding feeling. Don't drink and drive. A life is not worth it.
Everyone has something they're interested in: exercise, music, singing, blogging, what have you. But do Calgarians really know the value of having these hobbies? Nathan Eckhart has the story.
Hobbies are definitely important. They actually help take stress levels away. So for me, I have very high stress levels. So when I am frustrated on something, I'll go and do something I really enjoy to do, like play golf, right? Or do something that maybe takes only 30 minutes. So maybe go play a game for 30 minutes that you really enjoy. It just kind of takes you from stressed out to kind of normal, and you're kind of like, oh, okay, now I can go back and do my chores or something else.
One of the things that I found was, I was busy at work, running around, and I had to find something to help me calm down. So one of the things that I've always been in love with is woodworking. It's something that I started doing at school, and this is my pastime. And what I do now is, instead of sitting in front of the TV, I come to the garage, make bits of furniture.
Yeah, so I think it's important to, even if you are like super busy, if you got a bunch of school assignments that are past due and, a bunch of other responsibilities, I think it's important to like sit down for 3 hours and watch, I don't know many movies that are 3 hours, but, watch a movie, play video games for like 5 hours. Sure, Avatar, I heard that in the background from somebody. Probably should be doing stuff, but why not have fun instead, right? So
my hobby is slime, which is basically a stress reliever that you stretch and you can squish it. I've been making slime since November of 2017.
You can have time with hobbies. You just have to schedule it right.
If you've got time to watch TV, you can spend time doing a hobby.
Exam stress can really get to students, and it is a ton of pressure to put on one test, some of which we may feel like your whole future is riding on. With all the things on the plate of the average student, exam season can be overwhelming. You have bills to pay and student loans, not to mention trying to figure out what you're going to do for the rest of your life. This is why SAIT decided to start De-Stress Fest 4 years ago. SAIT President Alex Demopoulos outlines what students got to experience this week.
We have a variety of different events like Pet a Puppy, free breakfast, tea in the library, we have movies and different kinds of events in the Peer Support Center. And we also have de-stress kits that have a bunch of items in it that help you get through exams.
The De-Stress festivities end tomorrow, but many students have already taken part in all that SAIT has to offer. Now, that really looks like fun. I wish we had that when we were all stressed with all our tests and everything going on.
That's true.
I didn't really go for anything, but
no, we were too busy.
Yeah.
But let's take a look at our forecast, how that can help us relieve stress. We do have the sun coming out on Friday, Sunday, and Monday. So nice. It's not exactly sun tanning weather, but it's nice to go for a nice walk.
Well, close enough. It's not like -10.
Exactly,
so
yes.
We gotta take what we can get, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be super sunny tomorrow, so
yes.
Patio beers, for sure.
Patio beers.
For sure, I have work, but hey. Oh, look.
So tonight's games are Toronto and Boston facing off, and we also have Columbus and Washington going. Toronto and Washington are trying to tie up their series.
Wait, so you're cheering for the American team and not the Canadian team? Is that what you said earlier?
I said I was picking them to win.
Oh,
you're a traitor.
Cheering.
You're a traitor.
Pretty much the same thing.
Well, what teams do you have?
Canada.
Well, we'll see how that goes. From Newsfile, I'm Evelyn, and this is April, and this is Gian, and have a good night.